What's going on, YouTube family? Today we're going to be talking about how Tesla does not want you to fix your own car. Now, if anybody's had to deal with fixing their Tesla, they know it's an absolute nightmare. Tesla basically forces you to get on their app to schedule an appointment, even if it's something simple. Now, as somebody that's mechanically inclined, I like to fix small things myself so I can save time and save money. This is something very important to a lot of Americans. So if I get something where, let's say, the hood latch on my girlfriend's Tesla is broken, which I'm currently working on now in my garage, I go down to Tesla, all I need is a latch. Take me maybe 20 minutes to put in. It took me 2 hours at Tesla to talk to somebody to get parts. And then once I got there, they told me I could pay for the part, but they couldn't tell me when it would actually come in. And this is what I want to talk about today. It's almost impossible to get parts from Tesla and to work on your own car. Now, what we're going to be talking about today is nothing new. It's called right to repair. This is something that's been going on for years. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably won't know this when it comes to the automotive sector, but I'm sure you guys have heard it when it comes to iPhones. Now, Apple basically started this whole thing where they said if you bought an iPhone and you wanted to replace the battery or the screen, you had to only take it to Apple. But Apple would never want to fix it. They'd rather sell you a brand new phone or a brand new computer. So that's why if you drive down the road, you see so many third-party companies selling, Apple batteries, Apple glass, whatever else. But there are some people that like to buy factory materials from Apple, but Apple will not sell it to you because they don't believe that you know how to properly do it. And this is where we get into right to repair. Anytime I believe you buy something with your own money and you own it, you should have the right to repair your own vehicle. About a year ago, there was a big bill that got pushed through that literally was talking about this with automotive vehicles. Now, if you buy a brand new, let's say Ford truck, if you go to Ford, more than likely all those parts for that car are in stock ready for you because as they're manufacturing cars in the plant, they're also manufacturing backup parts. On top of that, they'll let you know if they stop making these parts, they will allow other third-party vendors to start making aftermarket parts for these vehicles. So that's why if you go now and whether you have a 2021 or a 2007 Ford F-150, you could find a fender, a hood, a bumper, whatever you need for your vehicle, which is really great. But when it comes to Teslas, for some reason, Tesla decided to go against the grain, and I've made fun of these guys for it. I told them it was a big problem. When you go order parts, you should be able just to walk in and get parts. If I give you my VIN number and you look up the part, any other dealership in the United States, I don't care if it's American, Japanese, Korean, whatever it is, if they will tell me how much the part is, how long it's going to take to get in, and basically a timeline for everything. Only one that doesn't do that is Tesla. Tesla refuses to give you that information or just doesn't really know because it's not connected to their vendors, which is absolutely ridiculous. So imagine waiting weeks, if not months, for a certain part for your Tesla that you don't know when it's coming in. And that's currently where I'm at today. I have friends all across the United States that have been dealing with this Tesla parts problem for a very long time. Now, during the pandemic, if you watched my channel, Rich Rebuilds, a few other guys, every time we would buy these Teslas, we would literally have to go buy either another car or Copart, or we actually started buying parts off of eBay. And this is something that is very irritating because if it's something like a $5 part, I'd rather buy it brand new from the factory. I don't want to have to chase it down through a junkyard or through eBay. But Tesla makes it extremely hard because they think if they keep everything proprietary, like they can control the repair, they can control the parts, and they will not allow you to fix your car, it should be a better built car and everything will be perfect. But now that Teslas are out on the road and people are driving them every day and they're braking left and right, to get a service appointment just here in Vegas, it could be up to 2 months, depending on what's wrong with your car. That's absolutely crazy. So if it's something major, like one of my friends, only one of her doors opens up, and I believe it's the passenger rear door. So she has to go in through a passenger rear door and sit in there, and she's got to wait, I believe, 4 weeks for her appointment. So these are some of the things that you have to deal with when you're dealing with Tesla. Now, every other manufacturer has some sort of program where they allow you to basically talk directly to the parts manufacturer or to the actual vendors to order parts if you couldn't get them factory. Also, if you're looking for what's called a spec sheet, sometimes they'll give you a build-out sheet of what the vehicle has, so this way you know exactly what parts you need to order, some of the sizes, what the materials are made out of. This is something that most manufacturers have, but Tesla doesn't offer that. So when I bought this wrecked Tesla and I was putting it together during my SEMA build, I couldn't find any wiring diagrams or build diagrams for that actual vehicle, which is crazy. Now, every other vehicle, even a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, a Bugatti, I can literally buy wiring diagrams and part diagrams for every single vehicle. But getting ones for Tesla is absolutely impossible. I literally had to get something that was made, I believe it was like in Russia or something. Somebody took one apart, took a bunch of pictures, and put it into a CAD drawing. And that's what I use to find out what parts are missing. Because if you buy a car, let's say from Copart that's wrecked, one of these wrecked Teslas, you can buy it for really cheap, but it's like putting back together a puzzle. You have no idea what it looks like. All the parts are broken, everything's shattered. You don't know what's supposed to go there. Is there a washer between the bracket? Is there a bracket behind the other bracket? You know, what's going on with all these parts? How does it all fit together? And these are just some of the problems that people are having with Tesla. On top of that, I had to buy I believe it was like a $60 scanner part. It kind of looks like this. And basically it allows me to plug in to the actual car in my OBD2 so I can read the codes off of the car. Now I know you could read most of the codes off of the actual screen, but to do, factory resets, program modules, stuff like that, you need to actually go into the system. Now, it's crazy that I had to buy this stuff off of Amazon and I had to go to third-party sites from different countries because Tesla is shutting all these people down because they don't want anybody to fix their cars. They want you to be forced to use only them. But the thing is this bill passed over a year ago where the right to repair covers pretty much anything that's bought in America. So why is Tesla still one of the only manufacturers not allowing people to buy their own parts and actually fix their own cars? Now, I'm buying so many cars at auction, I want to use all my capital for that, but I also need money to buy parts, and that's where I use my Revenue card. Revenue can help you get a flexible line of credit to up to $1 million with no credit check. They only go off of your business bank statements and your income. I know there are a lot of businesses out there struggling to get some sort of lines of credit or capital, and I think Revenue can help you. With no origination fees, maintenance fees, or withdrawal fees, you only pay for the capital your business uses. And as your business grows, so does your flexible line of credit with Revenue. Make sure you check the description down below and click on the link. You can apply and get approved in as little as an hour. Big banks may not understand your business needs, but Revenue does. Make sure to check them out. Once again, link down in the description below. And thank you, Revenue, for sponsoring this video. Now, I can see this being a problem maybe 4 or 5 years ago when Teslas first came out, because even when I bought my first one, I didn't like to work on it. I actually took it to the dealership because I figured it was 100% completely different than every other traditional car. But once you work on a Tesla and you take it apart, it's literally as complicated as a Toyota Corolla. The control arms are the same, the brakes are the same. The only thing that's a little bit crazy is just the battery pack. Everything else is literally no different from any other car. And so the fact that they try to make it exclusive, that it's hard to work on, is really ridiculous because you could literally pull that car apart. I think it was like a 10 millimeter, 13, a 50 millimeter, and you need a bunch of pry bars because everything is plastic snapped on. I'm sure they say they do it for weight savings, but that's why if you grab a Tesla door handle and you move it and you rattle it, it'll literally will either creak, rattle, or it'll actually pop off the thing. This is the quality of the build that they are so highly proud of. Now, if you've watched Rich Rebuild's channels, he actually went to court and I think battled it out with Tesla with the rights to actually buy parts. When my girlfriend wrecked her car about 2 years ago during the pandemic, I literally was fighting with Tesla trying to get parts, and they refused to sell them to me, even with a dealer's license and an auto repair license, which was crazy. And I kept telling them, why won't you sell it to me? They're like, oh, well, you're not a certified shop. I was like, sure. I go, where's your certified shop here in Las Vegas? And they're like, we don't have one. I was like, so I need to fix my car, but there's no certified shop here in Vegas, but you won't sell me the parts. What am I supposed to do? Can I bring it to the dealership? No, we don't do bodywork here. So you're a dealership that specializes in Teslas, but I can't even bring my Tesla that has bodywork to get fixed at your facility. They're like, no. So this is some of the irony of how they built Tesla kind of half-assed backwards and how it's affecting consumer sales now. So hopefully Tesla opens up its eyes and starts modeling its dealerships like its counterparts and the other dealerships across the United States. Now before, Tesla wanted to be completely different. They didn't want to have the exact same dealership as all the other dealerships because they figured that if they copied the same model, it was antiquated, it didn't work, it was something that wasn't any good. But unfortunately, the reason why dealerships are set up this way is because of service. Now, I'm sure all you guys watch my channel, you guys know that I love talking about automotive industry, and I know a lot of you guys hate dealers, but this is one of the crucial points of why you need dealerships, because of service, because of parts. Without them, you're pretty much SOL. And so, just to combat this here in Vegas, Tesla's opened up another dealership to start taking on more cars. Because can you imagine waiting 2 months because your car won't start? There's literally like hundreds of Teslas piled up around these two service facilities here in Vegas. And, as people are starting to drive them, put more miles on them, they're having more problems. You're starting to see a lot of the problems and faults with these cars. And with all the issues that Tesla's having, it's basically given birth to a new auto repair industry. I've seen EV auto repair facilities showing up like franchise models popping up everywhere. You buy the franchise, they teach you how to work on electric cars, and they give you their parts vendors and stuff that do parts for Lucid Air, Tesla, Rivian, and a few of the other electric manufacturers. And so it was pretty interesting to see how bad it's gotten that it basically spurred up another industry to basically compete with Tesla. Now, I think it's going to get better as we go on, but only time will tell. But these are some of the issues you're going to have if you decide to buy a Tesla. On top of that, the reason why a lot of people bought Teslas was to save money, but the prices are basically gone up. The values have basically plummeted. So if you buy one, within 2 years, you're going to sell it for about 50% of what you bought it for. So the resale value is not there. So you need to really figure out if you want to go EV. And if you do, buy something used, and especially get it now, because that EV credit is going away. And pretty soon you guys are going to be paying a lot more for new and used EVs. But anyways, I'd love to know your opinions in the comment section below. Have you guys ever tried to work on your Tesla? If so, what kind of problems did you have getting parts? On top of that, do you have any good parts manufacturers you'd recommend in the comment section below? So this way, if other people are having problems with their Teslas. But anyways, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. Huge shout out to Revenue for sponsoring this video, and we'll see you tomorrow.